Hello, class. Ethan Schultz here. Now, with this project I have created, I will ask my grandparents 5 questions, and you will be educated and entertained on the many knowledge of my grandparents and something like that. Sure, alright. Anyway, question 1. When you were a child, what were your grandparents like? Were they born from a different country?
My grandparents' name was Anderson, and they were born in Sweden, and they came to this country not knowing one word of English. My other set of grandparents were born in Wales, and all their children except my father were born in Wales. My father was the only one born in the United States.
Very interesting. Do you have anything to say, Grandpa?
My grandparents were both born in the United States. They were very nice people.
That sounds fascinating. Question 2. What kind of technology did you have when you were a child?
Well, we had indoor plumbing, we had refrigeration, and my mother was a telephone operator. Eventually she was in charge of the whole all of the telephone operators. So we always had a telephone. And at that time, we had what was called private line, where we were the only ones on that line. And they had party lines where there were more than one family on a line. And as a child, I had a bicycle, tricycle, and that's about it.
Now, what kind of technology did you have, Grandfather?
Well, let me think. I had roller skates. But seriously, we're going to have to edit this. I'm not very good at this.
No, you aren't.
Why don't you just do this? I'll just sit here and say next question.
Well,
You're doing so good. I'm running
all of
everything.
it. He's got to have this for class,
I know
Paul.
it. Serious.
Well,
Next question.
Next question. What did you do for fun?
I don't know about your grandfather, because I didn't know him then, but we played with the neighborhood kids. We had hopscotch, hide and go seek, kick the can, all kinds of things that we did outside on our own. We did not have the technology that you kids have today that keeps you indoors.
We had to make up our own fun, our own games. And that would be building a tree house or going out in the yard or pastures and flying a kite. And that would be about the extent of it.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. Question 4. Did you have telephones and refrigerators and all that kind of cool stuff?
Well, naturally we had telephones because my mother was a telephone operator. Yes, we had a refrigerator, radio, and I even had a portable radio that you had played on with batteries. So that was the extent of the questions you asked me. We had indoor plumbing.
We had an ice box.
Now tell me, what is an ice box?
You take a cake of ice, and it'd be like a cooler today, only it's made out of wood. And you'd set the block of ice on top of this cooler. And depending on the weather, your block of ice would last maybe 1 day and maybe 3 days. And it would melt down, and you'd always forget to empty the pan on the bottom of the ice box. But other than that, it worked great.
Tell him where you would get this ice.
Well, they manufactured ice. Godfrey's would manufacture ice.
And they would deliver it in a truck, Ethan. They would deliver it in neighborhoods in a truck, and they had big prongs or something. They'd pick up these big blocks of ice for people who had ice boxes.
Nice. My last question for you two is, what kind of jobs were out there when you were younger?
Jobs for us or
Like any kind of
The
job for
market.
you, your parents, anybody.
Well, my mother again. You know, she mainly was telephone operator, and eventually, you know, she was like the manager. My dad was a coal miner, and he and another gentleman owned a coal mine. And jobs for me, I really didn't have many until I got in college. And then I spent summers in college at the Des Moines Register and Tribune in Des Moines, Iowa. That was my job. It was in the credit department, and that's why eventually I ended up being a math teacher and went on
CPA.
for accountant.
So, did your parents or you ever have a job back then?
Yes, I had a job at a very early age. I would milk cows 7 days a week, 2 times a day, and I earned 50 cents a week. It was a high-paying job at that time.
What else did you do?
The other worked in grocery stores, stocking shelves, carrying out groceries to the people that couldn't carry them themselves. Sometimes we get a 10-cent tip, which was big bucks because you'd work 11 hours in the grocery store on Saturday for $4. So that,
How about when you were in college at Westmore? Didn't you sell shoes or something?
yes, I was a shoe salesman, ready to wear. Yes.
And then,
That made me decide I didn't want to stay in retail sales.
he went into the Army.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that sounded like a very interesting job that you had. Thank you for spending time with me and my grandparents on my project. Thank you, and goodbye.